reporting to you live from down here in the trapping shed. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the great weekend I just had. As some of you guys might know, I went up to the 53rd annual Wisconsin Trappers Association convention up in Marshfield, Wisconsin. This is our second year going. My dad and I went last year and we had such a great time and we thought, let's go again this year. It only happens once a year and it's kind of like prepares you for the trapping season, so we're like, yeah, let's go. So as you can see, first year, second year, they give out little badges, so that's pretty cool. So Friday morning, woke up really early, like 4 in the morning, and drove the 3 hours away, got there, set up camp. My dad came a little later that afternoon, and it was just there. We were there from, I was there from Friday morning to Saturday night. It's like a 2-day event. You camp out overnight, but it's really cool. Like practically all the trappers from Minnesota, Michigan, Illinois, and Wisconsin all meet there, and it's really, really cool. Everyone camps there. There's different skinning demos every hour showing you how to do that. There's different trapping demos showing different techniques every hour. And there's all these indoor and outdoor vendors and businesses that are just selling stuff for really, really cheap. And you get to buy gear, you get to learn, and you just get to have a great time conversing and being with all the other trappers too. And it's a pretty cool place, and it's kind of like my happy place. I like to go there every year, and it gets me excited for the upcoming season too. So I learned a lot. There's a lot of good classes that we went to, a lot of good demos, and bought a lot of cool gear too. So I had a great time, just a really good memory, and I will definitely go again next year. And it was really worth it, really worth the time. So let's get to showing you the stuff I bought. So right off the bat, let me show you the hardware I wanted to get. Okay. First things first, I bought 7 110 conibears. I really wanted to do a lot more muskrat trapping this year, so I thought 7 of these puppies, that'll add to my 7 I think I already have. It's going to really help me catch a lot more muskrats this year. So 7 110 conibears. Also for muskrat trapping, I got myself I think it's a 5x5x24 colony trap. I already have 2 of these, but I thought a third one I got a place in mind where I want to stick this near a culvert, so I thought why not? So I got one of these as well. Now I do have to explain, the trapping convention there sells stuff for super, super cheap. The stuff that you're going to start seeing here might look expensive, but it really wasn't. I did the math, and the prices that they're selling the gear at the convention were about half the cost of what they sell them at stores like Gander Mountain and Cabela's, and they're about a third the cost of what they sell them online. So if you can just wait, don't buy your stuff online or at stores, save your money until you go to the convention once a year. You'll have to wait, so it'll drive you crazy, but once you get there, then you can just spend the money you saved up, and it'll really be worth it, because you'll save a lot of money. You don't have to pay for shipping, and just pick it up right there. I went back and forth all day, buying stuff, putting it in my car, going to different demos, eating the food there that they had, and just really enjoying myself. So I just wanted to do a little bit of coyote trapping this year. I already got I think I got 5 coyote traps. I wanted to get a couple more. I got 2 number 3 coil springs. These are made by Duke. Alright, so 2 number 3 coil springs. And last year I had a 330 conibear that got taken away from me either by the rising waters of the river that I trap on or by a beaver. I'm not sure. So I got myself another 330 conibear. It's really good. It's been used, but it's got a little bit of rust on it, which is good. It'll take the dye and wax better. So that's 11 traps that I got, and then the rest of this is just hardware. Now speaking of dye and wax, you got to do that every year, so I just got myself some logwood trap dye and some odorless trap wax. So, alright, dye and wax. Also, the last few years I've had a pair of gloves for water trapping that kind of stink. These, they go up to about halfway up the arm, and they freeze really well. So you forget them in your car, or even while you're trapping on you, they'll just get really stiff. And like I said, they'll go halfway up the arm, so it really is cold when you're reaching under the water, and they're not insulated at all. So I knew that I needed to invest in a new pair of gloves. So got myself some gloves. They go up to the top of the arm, they cinch tight, and a little bit insulated, and they don't freeze into a ball, and they don't get stiff like my other ones did. So got myself some water trapping gloves. Alright, for those coyote sets, I ran out of sheep's wool, so I got myself, I think this is 2 or 3 gallons of sheep's wool. Alright, and some coyote urine, I think this is a pint, and that was really cheap as well, so that's cool. Now these I needed to get, well, they were nifty, I didn't need to get them, they were just a cool idea. They're called critter carriers. Now, these are neat because they're basically, it is what it sounds, they carry your animals out of the woods. It's like a little section of a pipe with some snares on each end, and after you've dispatched your animal, you can cinch it tighter on their legs and carry the animal out like a briefcase. And it's really, really cool because last year I caught a couple coyotes in one day, and I had to carry them over my shoulders, and that was really painful, and it kind of hurt. It was a long walk to carry it on my shoulder. I had to take a lot of breaks. This way, you can just carry your coyote or whatever like a briefcase, and it seems a lot easier. So I got 2 of them. Got myself a spool of 14 gauge wire for my muskrat and mink sets. Alright, this is just something that I thought would be neat. I got myself some hook-on cleats for walking on the ice. I slip around a lot. I do a lot of rivers and ponds and lakes and stuff where I do my winter under ice sets. So some cleats that you can strap onto your boots or your waders, prevent falling. Okay, also, last year, I made my own wax dirt. A whole process where I got some dirt from the field, bought some flake wax offline, and then I melted it in the oven, and then I stirred it around. It's just this long, drawn-out process that I didn't really want to repeat this year. So, for really cheap, I got lazy and bought myself 20 pounds of wax dirt. It's already made, ready to go. Just no freeze dirt. You sift it over your trap. It's getting kind of heavy on to set it down. But yeah, so 20 pounds of that. Skip the process of making my own. Just buy it. Got myself a dozen of these little MB Connor brackets. I thought this is a really ingenious idea. I've done a lot of muskrat trapping and stuff where I have conibears and they're always falling off the log sets or stuff. Here you just tack it on to whatever, like a branch or a log that you're setting it on, or a stump, and then you just set the trap on these and it stays there. And I'll make another video about those, but it's really cool. I've never experimented with this before. I've always just used stakes for securing my traps. For my smaller animals, I just wire it off to a tree. I do the same for snares. But for my normal, coyote predator trapping, I use stakes. I, double stake them and stuff. I've never tried to drag, so I thought, you know what? This year it's my experimenting year. Fur prices are lower than I would want them to be. So I just thought, let's experiment this year. Let's do stuff that I haven't really done before. So I bought myself a drag. This was $2. It was really cheap. It's got the prongs on here. I think it's got about 2.5, 3 feet of chain, and it's got the swivel there. So I mean, a drag, I just bought one of them, just so I can experiment with it. If I like it, maybe I'll buy another 1 or 2 next year, but I'll just try a drag out. This will be the first year, and we'll see how that goes. Now, the big thing that I was really going up there, well, I went up there to learn and to have fun, but buying-wise, there's 2 big things that I really, really needed to get. In the past, I have skinned my animals outside this door on this gambrel that I have hooked up, and then I stretch them on these wire stretchers. But when it came to fleshing, our process really sucked. had this flushing beam, move this chair here, and that's all I had. I had this, you can find it here, here. This really dull, cheap flushing knife. I think it's like 10-15 bucks. It doesn't even have a dull edge on it, like the one for pushing the fat. It's probably like, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch thick on the back, and it doesn't even have an edge on this side. So you can see where that led to a lot of frustration, a lot of hard times when I was doing the flushing process. This wasn't anchored to anything. As you can see, it's just a flushing beam, it's just free floating. So, you know, Dad would have to, you know, hold it to the ground, and I'd slide the fur over and be pushing with the flushing with the knife, and that was just a dumb process, and that was the one thing that I knew I had to get fixed. And that was the one thing that I knew I had to get fixed. So, I had to get myself a mounting bracket or some sort of thing to anchor it to the wall, the flushing beam, so that I could do it, that I could push, and I could have like some stability. So, I went expecting that this was going to cost a lot. This only came up to $17. You can't quite see it in detail here. It's got a T-brace on the bottom, it's got a hinge on the top, and this opens up to an adjustment level. I'll make another video separately about this, but this will really help make everything stable. I can mount my flushing beam to this, I can put this against the wall, put a screw bracket on the wall, and have it sit there. I can increase or decrease the angle, so I can have it up, the flushing beam up at different angles, and this will just really help our flushing process. It's very sturdy, made out of really good materials, it's not going to break anytime soon. And for about 15-16 bucks, I mean, why not? So, I mean, this is really going to revolutionize our flushing process. And, I mean, with that kind of a flushing knife, you're not going to get anything done. So, I bought myself a new one. This is called the Necker Knife Model 600. Now, this thing is wicked. It's got a super sharp edge right here, and it's got a less sharp edge, but still good for the dull side, for when you're pushing the fat. It's got a really nice arc to it, as you can see, for going down the beam and for slicing and stuff. So I got myself a really nice new flushing knife. So that was a thing that I really needed to get, really lightweight, and it's really easy to handle. So I think this year, flushing, our pelts are going to look a lot nicer and be worth a lot more than all the other years. So this is really going to be good. Also, why not? I'm a trapper. I got myself a bumper sticker with some sort of coil spring trap on it. I mean, why not? It's you know, about 6 or 7 inches long. Put it on the back of my car, and that'll look pretty cool. So I just liked it. Just a couple other bags and stuff like that for putting furs in, and then got a bunch of extra like pamphlets and skinning booklets and different free stuff that the DNR was giving out, as well as the trapping regulations for this year. Wow, okay, so that's it. That's all my equipment. Like I said, it was a really good time at the Marshfield convention this year. I'm even thinking of joining the Wisconsin Trappers Association, getting myself a membership. I loved it last year, I loved it this year, I'm going to go again every year. It's a blast. I suggest for any of you trappers out there, if you're in the Great Lakes area, come to this one. Marshfield, Wisconsin, just look it up. They have it every year, right around September 10th or so. But if you're not in this area, look in your state, see if they have trappers conventions nearby. They probably will, and I highly suggest it. So, yeah, that's about it, guys. And we have about 33 days left till the season. And see you guys later.